Are you ready?
Hey y'all, this your girl Lovely Laveau, and if I love wrestling and you love wrestling, then we love wrestling.
Welcome to We Love Wrestling Black Fridays. You know, I told y'all this year we was going to be talking to black content creators, black people in the wrestling community, black people who have a voice that you should know about if you don't know. Today, I'm joined by Nicole from Down for the Count, but y'all know her. She always here. And we have someone, if you're on Twitter, if you know the little background of some of the wrestlers out here in the business, we got somebody who worked with these people. Someone who voice in wrestling, I respect. Someone who likes some of the same wrestlers and some of the same things I like. So we had to go get her. We have Miss Lovely Laveau. How you doing today, man?
You know I'm here doing what I can do, being alive and all that good stuff.
Doing what she can do. You know, she came on stunning on us with the Shane Taylor promotion show.
Right.
It's only like 5 of those in the world, and she got one of them.
6, but it's fine. We're not counting.
See, it's not counting, but it's only 6 in the world. But that's all right. Love, before we get into this, the first question I always ask is, why do you love wrestling, or what started your love for wrestling?
I don't know why I love it now, but I can tell you what started it. My grandfather was a huge wrestling fan, and he was watching WrestleMania 8, and I was probably 6, something like that, somewhere around there, and I saw Macho Man Randy Savage in that gold outfit, and I said, "Oh, he's shiny. Who is that?" And I've been watching wrestling ever since. 100%.
He said the shiny outfit. I dig that. That was one of my first things.
It was blingy.
The real reason I brought you here, you know what I'm saying? I hear you a Stone Cold enthusiast. You know what I'm saying? Nicole is also a Stone Cold enthusiast. You know
yes. I love that for you. Say something, Trey.
I like Stone Cold. I'm not an enthusiast though. But
so I gotta go get my jacket, is what you're saying.
No, you ain't gotta do that.
I literally almost gave him a live thesis statement of why Stone Cold is so important before he hung up on me. But I'm gonna do it in person one day.
Sure. We both have a lot of things to bring in person to Trey, so that's gonna be on the docket.
Shit. Well, I appreciate Stone Cold, from Stone Cold to Stunning Steve. That's my dude. I mess with him, but But let me ask you, how you feel about wrestling right now? Because you said earlier, you don't love it no more. So how you feel about wrestling at the current state right now?
Fuck wrestling at the current state right now. Actually, that's where I am. It has taken a turn, and I will say that I don't think it's wrestling as a whole. I feel like wrestling itself is in like a renaissance age right now. Like it's in a anything and everything can and will happen type mode. What has made me absolutely disgusted with wrestling is everybody else. The people who actually don't wrestle, the people who are watching wrestling, the people who are on social media. Those people make me hate wrestling. So ain't that something, that somebody hates your job because of the people that come purchase your products? That's crazy. But it has made it so difficult to digest something that has been basically my therapist for 30 years. So that's hard. But
what about the people who say, if you don't like wrestling because of the fans, then there's something wrong with you?
Can I say what I want to say?
You can say
yes.
It. I mean, let it go through your head, But whatever you want to say is cool.
Yeah. Okay, they can go to hell, because you have to understand, a lot of times you can get tired of something. It's kind of like a toxic relationship, right? You know that you probably like in a bad situation, but it's a comfort zone. This is something that you've been used to for so long that it's become an everyday part of your routine. So it's hard to just completely disassociate yourself when, especially for me, I can speak for me, like that's the last piece other than my, Haitian heritage and music. That's the last piece of my grandfather that I have left. He used to help with different territories here in North Carolina when he was alive, but back in the day. So I got a chance to see some things from the background. So it's like basically a part of my family a little bit. Everybody in my family loves wrestling. So it's hard to just not watch or be around it, because that's, if y'all see my apartment is nothing but wrestling. I can't escape this if I wanted to. So they can go to hell with that statement.
I see on there going on people's shows sometimes, and I always see them belts in the back. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all don't think she a real wrestling fan, look at that money back. I mean, when I look at it, I'll be counting up the money in my head. Money.
I have these. I got these, as you can see right here, but in the back, I have the pink Alundra Blaze women's WWF title. So that's like my baby back there.
She got money.
I had money until I started doing this business full time.
Oh, she does also have a business before I cut into Nicole. She gonna put her business over at the end, but you know, I got one on right now. Nicole,
and I didn't get mine yet, Trey.
I got yours back. I told you the mail post office people is whackety whack. But I do have yours. Yeah, the green. I'm gonna come back and ask about that. I'll let Nicole take over now.
Well, send me my bracelet.
I tried to, but the mail post office people, you know, they tripping right now, but that's a different story for another day.
All right, whatever. So I just kind of wanted to start this off because obviously everything going on with like Swole and then other that, I kind of wanted to tear from that because I feel like all of us has been literally talking about it since it happened. And it's, I don't want to say it's like beating a dead horse, but I feel like we've all said what we meant. Like we all said what we needed to say for it and so on and so on. And whether change actually happens or not, which I doubt it, I feel like it is what it is. But to kind of just segue a little bit, so obviously you talk about like you've been around the business for so long. So what is, I don't want to say like your favorite moment or like your most cherished memory of like a live event that you've went to? And this could be like years ago or this could have been like a week ago.
It wasn't necessarily a live event, but the moment that I actually, my dog was wild. The day that I actually got a chance to meet Stone Cold is probably at the top of the list. Just because it was a bucket list item for myself and my grandfather. He always wanted me to meet him, but he passed away in 2014. So I got a chance to meet him. Actually, I think it was like 2-3 years later. So that moment is probably the best thing that I could have ever asked for, because the one thing that you hear in this business is don't meet your favorites. Yeah. Do not meet the people you love the most, right? When I tell you I had the most amazing experience with that bald head Caucasian man, like it was absolute, like you could not have painted a better moment for me as a fan, because I'm standing in line, I'm with my friends, and they know how completely nervous I am, right? So I'm like, nah, I'm cool, don't worry about it, boo. I'm turning into a thug. I'm like, we got this, we got this. Boy, I got in the front of that line. And all he said was, hey, how you doing? Man, you talk about crocodile tears came out my face. And he was just so pleasant. He kept giving me a hug to try to get me to calm down. He fixed my eyelashes before we took the picture. He was the nicest person ever. He signed my, you were only supposed to sign like one item, but he signed my jacket and he signed my belt that I had from my homeboy. He was like, no, I'll take care of all this for you. Talked to him for a good 5-10 minutes. It was like a really personal experience, because I was thinking it was going to be, you know, in and out. Mm-hmm. Man, that's my uncle. I don't care. I love that man. Like that, I don't think nothing's going to ever top that for me. And then I think my first WrestleMania, that's up there too.
So I know it's kind of like fuck wrestling 2022, but are you going to go to Mania this year, since we are going to be in Arlington? I keep wherever, decide whatever, because I always feel like they change fucking names of where Mania is actually at. So
I mean, I'm gonna be in Texas, but I ain't gonna go to the show. I'll be in Texas though. I'll be at like the indie shows for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So speaking of indie shows and kind of like segueing over to there, so what kind of got you motivated into helping behind the scenes, especially with people like Shane Taylor? Like what kind of lit a fire and be like, hey, I need to do this? Or what kind of was the motivation behind that?
Seeing people come out of wrestling school and have absolutely no direction on what the hell they were doing. Mm-hmm. That's what it was. I saw a lot of the guys and girls kind of, you learn the fundamentals, the one, two, threes of wrestling, but the full character development and stuff like that was lacking. And I was like, hey, do you know how to market yourself? Do you know how to get people invested in you as somebody who's brand new? Because without knowing who you are, what's the investment? You know what I mean? And I saw that that was something that a lot of these wrestling schools weren't teaching people. So with me having a marketing degree and kind of almost know what I'm doing, I was like, well, maybe I can help a little bit. So then when I got a chance to meet like local people here and there and just talking to them and like, hey, have you thought about doing this? And then seeing it actually work. That's the key, actually seeing that it worked. I was like, okay, I don't really know a lot of women doing this. And then I don't know a lot of Black women doing this. Like,
Right.
I think with us as Black women, we have this immediate nurturing thing about us that when we talk to people, it's kind of like we automatically become mama or auntie or sis type thing, and it comes across a little bit differently and it's received a little bit differently. So having that and being able to talk and being able to have the actual knowledge of marketing behind me and seeing that it's working, I was like, all right, I think I can help. And then all hell went loose, but whatever.
So again, I know you have, and again, like Trey will talk upon like your business that you have going on. Did you ever considered possibly starting like a marketing firm or PR firm for professional wrestling, or was that something you just want to do this freelance? Nope.
Nope, I like doing freelance. Freelance, I like doing when I want to do it, how I want to do it,
Hmm.
and for how long I want to do it. I am very much a my mama calls me whimsical, whatever she tried to say by that. But I like to just kind of go with the flow with stuff. I don't if I'm on deadlines and stuff like that, but it'll make me not love it anymore. And that's the part of it. Like I love the freelance of it, being able to do it on my time.
The funny thing is, one of the things I really love about, well, one of the maybe five things I like about the wrestling community is how there's so many people, because when you have people who don't watch wrestling, they're like, you still watch that, like, isn't that
Hmm.
fake? And I'm like, oh my god, here we go. But it's so funny when you start meeting people within the community and also within the industry, and like such a array of jobs and careers that
Hmm.
people have, like it's mind blowing. So what's kind of like the one, like what's someone who's someone that you met and they were like telling you, oh, this is what I do, you're like, what?
Everybody, to be honest with you, I tell people like you can be in the wrestling business without being on the mat.
Hmm.
There's so much because it's still a business at the end of the day. So you see people who are, content creators, have podcasts, they have this, they do interviews, they travel. The first thing that I did that was like kind of important, I'll say, for like a someone who was signed is I used to do massages. So I would go after the shows. If you need a massage because you didn't got hurt, I would massage. And it started like with just like the refs and another close friend of mine that was signed. And I was like, you really can get paid doing almost anything legally and not nothing nasty in wrestling for real. So I mean, it's so much that can be done, and seeing that people in wrestling, when you find the good people in wrestling, let me say that when you find the
Hmm.
good people in wrestling, they really want to see other people do well in their avenues. So being able to have some of the connections that I have, and they're like, Lovely, you're really good at this. Have you thought about linking up with this person? Let's do this. Let's put, you know what I'm saying? I
Right.
think being because I like to call myself the liaison. Like that's my title. If you ask me what I am, that's it. So everybody has their own avenue. You know what I mean? Like wrestling is one of those things that you can create your own thing within this world and it still be received well and accepted by the masses. And that's the best thing about it. We'll talk about everything else that sucks about it later, but those are the good things about wrestling for real.
And speaking of that,
Trey's face
so
doing my
I
nerve.
always like to because I'm a very like business, and I hate saying this, but I'm very like business oriented, and I feel like it's gotten me far in my career, in my life so far. But just looking at how different people move or how different companies move, and then just me, I'm like, what the f are you doing? So what is something, is you like using your marketing, like your marketing prowess, your marketing greed. Like
Mhm.
you'll see sometime, you're like, man, what the fuck is this person doing? Or you're like, what can they do to like improve themselves, or what's kind of missing from a lot of people marketing standpoint in the industry right now?
The biggest thing that I noticed that really made me go gung ho with it, because before I was just in the background, and it wasn't like I wasn't the face of anything. Like nobody knew who I was except for the people who knew me. I wasn't trying to
Hmm.
be out there like that. But once I saw that people weren't utilizing their resources like social media in the best way, I was like, what y'all doing? Like that's what blew my mind, is seeing so many people mishandle the usage of social media, because that's e-commerce. That's literally e-commerce, like immediate e-commerce, right?
Hmm.
So seeing people not really know the difference between engaging with fans and blurring that lines of making them friends and gaining fans to get them more engaged in who they are and get invested as a character, that's where I saw a lot of people, I don't want to say failing, but you could have done a little bit better. So I started to kind of small talk people and kind of say little things on tweets, and then they would reach out to me privately, and then we started to build a friendship, and then we started to implement some of the different things to say, hey, this is how you get foundation fans, by getting them invested in who you are and what you're bringing to the table. Start doing these promos on the internet. Start posting vignettes. Like start doing things so people know who your character is, especially in independent wrestling. There's not a lot of character growth. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? Because a lot of times there's not a whole lot. Now there are some, there's some very good ones. There's not a whole lot of long-term storylines in independent wrestling, so you don't really have enough time as new fans to figure out who these people are. So utilize your resources, like Twitter, like Instagram, like Spaces is what you were supposed to be using Spaces for, is to build your persona and to get people to know who your character is, and maybe do some promos against your future opponents soon and things like that. That's how we utilize Spaces as wrestlers, or what you should be doing, because I think that's going to help a whole lot of people a whole lot better. But I digress. But that's kind of where I saw the missing link, because I saw something, and I don't like Trey for the rest, for just, I just want to say I don't like Trey. Um, I saw something between Billy Dixon and Hoodfoot in Spaces one day, after, I think it was after one of the trials, and they literally had a promo off against each other.
Oh, I remember that.
Right. And so many people who did not know about their match coming up were waiting on that match to come. And then, of course, something unfortunate happened to where the match didn't happen. But I was like, that's how you use it.
Mhm.
That's how you utilize your resources. So that's where I saw the void. I was like, yo, somebody got to fix this, because this ain't it.
I 100% agree. I feel like sometimes, and like I always say, I'm like, what? I'm like, what is y'all doing with yourselves? Let's say you spent all this money. I can't really say nothing because I spent all this money to go to wrestling school to be a ref, and I've done fucking nothing with it. But that's neither here or there. But I'm just like, sometimes I'll be looking at people, I'll be like, what are y'all doing? And I feel like it's
Nothing.
just so much, especially with how the indies are now. It's like it's
Mm-hmm.
such a huge market within the business when it wasn't like that about 10, 12 years ago. You
Mm-hmm.
have so much money that's getting dumped into the indies. Hell, Trey is at least keeping three indie promotions afloat. How much he be going everywhere?
Ain't that
Money.
about a bitch?
He got money. Sponsor Trey. I know that's right. I love that for you.
I don't even sponsor no more, but I'll be at the. Nah, I do still sponsor, but nah,
Right.
they
Right.
know.
We
They know who.
selective sponsor.
They know who. All right.
Right. Right. But that's a huge void though, because and I actually use myself as the guinea pig. So the whole reason why y'all even know who Lovely Laveau is, she's been here for a while. I just ain't mess with y'all on Twitter because y'all wild. The reason why that was even a thing on Twitter was because I was talking to a local wrestler that I know, and I said, I know how to get people engaged in who you are. Watch what I do, and I guarantee you that it'll work. And I started to reveal parts of myself that I knew that people would be like, okay, I can see where she's coming from. I get it, blah, 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 blah. And people became invested in who I was as Lovely Laveau. Now, very few people know redacted, aka my real name. But Lovely Laveau was someone that I
Her
brought to
real
Twitter.
name is. Oh,
I'll punch you in your chest. Um, I brought that to the forefront really to show him all you have to do as an entity or a wrestler or a public figure is find something that gets people engaged with who you are, and they will support you. Now, it needs to be genuine and authentic. That's the main thing, because if it's not real, they're going to see right through it. So
say
what
that
I
again.
did, if it's not real, they're going to see through it, right?
Yeah.
So what I did was brought, if you know me, everything y'all see on Twitter is 100% who I am off that panel. That is just me. And people understood my authenticity and the fact that, I may not like what she say all the time. I may not agree with her points all the time, but I respect the fact that she is who she is and she can stand on what she says. And 9 times out of 10, when I say stuff, I ain't wrong. I'm gonna say that
Facts.
again.
That motherfucker don't miss.
I don't be wrong. And I showed him that, and then I got the merch with What a Maneuver and things like that. And people started to purchase because they were invested in who I was. And I said, this is what you need to do as a wrestler. You need to talk. Let them hear you. Let them hear who your character is. Now, you still need to have that line between your personal life and your character, but your character is who they need to see.
Mm-hmm.
And it started to work. And homie started getting booked all over the place and had merchandise, and people were buying the merch. I said, I'm not saying I'm a guru in this, but I know what I'm talking about because I was your guinea pig. I put myself on the chopping block to see if it worked, and it worked.
She don't miss.
I don't
Well,
really.
sometimes she misses, but she don't.
When?
Huh?
Name one.
Do we have to do this right now?
You started it. I was
You
gonna let it
started
go.
it.
Shout out to Friday. Shout out to
Oh,
Friday.
I would hit you. I would hit you.
Trey does nothing but get beat up every time people see him in person.
He is
Yo, for real.
disrespectful.
I get threatened a lot when people see me in person. I don't understand. I'm
You
a cool
deserve.
dude. You know what I'm saying? I support the black culture and the black people out here, but people just want to hit me for some reason.
I'm not saying 2 words to Terry when I see him in person. I'm gonna hold my hand out. I say, "Give me this card. I'm about to go get some drinks."
Oh, you giving out money? I know that's
The
right.
card? What card you want?
I'm taking whatever card you rich. You probably got a black card, Terry. Don't start.
Dang, that's
You need the
crazy.
We
You
Love
bought
Wrestling
2
card.
bracelets? You bought 2 bracelets and you packing like that? That's crazy.
I give you the We Love Wrestling card. Ooh,
No,
we out here.
your boys
Yeah.
ain't your boys. That's crazy.
So before I take it over to Trey and he can finish doing whatever he's doing, I just wanted to say, just like as an entity, like I appreciate you within the community, even though you're segueing yourself from it, because
I'm trying.
that's just me personally, just within. Because again, like I've always watched wrestling, but I was always like very shy with like interacting with other fans, especially online. Like I was very like standoffish, especially from like a really bad incident that I had a few years ago at a show. So I just kind of like stepped away from it for a while, and then it's like you and like a few others kind of like help. I'll be like kind of like help me like kind of like feel more comfortable, just like how I express myself. And I'm not gonna let you silence me, and I'm just gonna keep doing what I want to do. Mind you, I'm not going to sit here and like harass people, but it's like to live in my truth and to be like, look, I'm here. I have a voice. You are not going to give me a seat at a table. You are not going to let me in this. So I'm going to make a way for myself. So I think
Correct.
You should applaud yourself for that.
I mean, I'm just here, I just want to let people know that they are important and stuff. Nah, but I live by that mantra all the time. It's not really about getting a seat at somebody else's table. Sometimes you need to just make your own table and make them want to sit at yours. And
Facts.
that's what if nobody listens to anything else, is stop looking for validation from whoever them is to you. Stop looking for their validation and create your own table. Make sure you take your time to make sure your ingredients for your food are fresh and they are right. Make sure your recipe is tight so the food at your table has longevity. That's what you need to do. So I hate
Big
you.
facts.
I don't like that Bama right there.
Oh gosh, Terry. Oh my gosh, cat move.
Yo, man, I'm just
My
saying.
dog trying to knock over the camera too. So
She be talking.
No,
I'll
she's
be right.
just she's
Trey,
crazy.
what is that? What is this?
I'm just saying, you be talking sometimes, and I'll be like,
Oh
yo,
my god.
I
So
hate him
dramatic.
so
you
much.
talking that shit?
I'm never coming back.
We ain't even got into me yet. This is
I
light.
know. Oh.
Yo, so earlier you said about spaces and everything. That's what wrestlers supposed to do with it. You big on spaces, you start spaces, you get everything, people coming in, interacting. What you be talking about in spaces, though?
Man, I don't know why y'all join them spaces, bro. I just be in there trying to be a hood rat, and people be wanting me to talk about real stuff all of a sudden. I don't like that.
Real
So
talk, bro.
but it's real. Like excuse me, I try not to host spaces often, but when I do, I like, especially when I do it about wrestling, I notice that it'll go from like me and my homies to like 200-300 people, and I'm like, how y'all get in here? But I really talk about an array of everything just because I feel like sometimes tweeting can kind of misconstrue the point. And when you have an actual conversation with someone, you can hear the inflections of the voice, the tones, the cadence, and stuff like that. You can kind of understand what's being said a little bit better. So I know that I'm very, very opinionated. I am very, very loud, black, and proud. So I like for people to hear me sometimes more so than see the tweet, so you can understand what I'm saying, and then you can start reading the tweets in my voice and kind of get it a little bit more to where it makes sense. Because I feel like some of y'all just be missing the point on purpose, but whatever. But Spaces is a very good tool to do outreach. You can do amazing networking there, because any and everybody can just join and listen and then request. Now, of course, sometimes Spaces can just get a lot, but when you utilize your tools the right way, it can be severely beneficial to you and people around you. So, but I'll be talking about everything in there from wrestling to sex to hood rat stuff and telling people how to steal.
Because I got to ask you some wrestling questions, but before I do that,
don't ask me nothing.
I got to ask you a wrestling question, but before I do that, I just got to ask you, navigating as black women in this industry, you know what I'm saying? Just doing the things you do, a lot of people be like, if you type something or tweet something, they run straight so they can reply back to you.
Mm-hmm.
How do you keep your mental health together? Because some of these bitch ass niggas take it too far when they talking to black women, even some black men. So how do you make sure your mental health is good, dealing with all this?
I cuss people out. That's what I do. I am not one of those people to tell you, just log off and get your zen about yourself, center yourself. Sometimes that is called for. Like sometimes you can zen and center, because I'm very spiritual. Y'all know that. Sometimes that's what it's called for. But for me, the way that I balance my mental health with that, I cuss them out. And I turn it into a joke to make them look stupid. And I do a very good job at it. So,
Choose
and I
violence.
say, no, 100% violence is always the choice. But I say that to say, when you make it not as important to you to where you can spin it as a joke, that's what alleviates the pressure off you. So you're not internalizing it. You're not taking that in, because that's their stupidity. Like the guy that called me a mud hut because I'm Haitian. I was like, you got an American flag in your name. Like, what? You know what I mean? So you just kind of spin it and make it a joke so you don't take on their projection. And and I had to learn that, because at first everything used to piss me off. I was like, I'm ready to fight. I'm just mad. But then when I realized these are literally just avatars with words beside them, these people ain't real for real. Make it a joke. Make it a joke. Shoot back at them. Do not let people make you feel like you always have to be the bigger person. I personally like being the itty bitty bitch. So sometimes I choose that, and it makes me feel better, and I go about my business.
Yeah, I can't stand her.
What?
I forgot who keeps saying this. They were like, instead of I'm going high, I'm literally going to the pits of hell, and I feel that deep in my soul.
Someone
I'm not
said
going
that.
high.
It was like, I'm not going high no more. I'm going to the pits of hell with you, and I'm bringing you down with me. So if you got anything you don't want to be talked about, do not come at me. I was like, damn.
I'm the wrong one for that. Because I do research before I clap back hard. Because if I see that you got like a cockeyed kid, woo, be careful.
I think I
I'm
can
just gonna be
use a
honest.
perfect example. There was like some chick who's trying to talk shit about Swole and being like, "Oh well, you're clap." She's like, "You're capping for somebody who don't got no job." I said, "Bitch, you got trash bags in your background in your room, and it's
I'm
not a
telling
cent
you.
choker." I said, "The hell is going on with you? Worry about
Let
somebody's
me
pockets."
let me tell y'all. Anybody who's watching this, or when they load it, if you ever try to come for me, you better delete all the pictures you got on your media because I'm going through them bammers and I am searching for a kill shot. And when I find it, whoo, you talk about not letting it go. Because I've gone to hell for some people now. I don't mean to. And there's a limit. Like some things don't
Yeah.
call for you to go straight to hell. You know what I mean? But when you start calling me out my name in a mud hut because I'm Haitian, I'ma realize, oh, you got faux locks. That's crazy. Them locks ain't even yours, dog. I can see that you sewed your locks back on your head. Let's go talk about that. So that's the stuff that I'm saying. Just watch who you're talking to, because while it's a whole bunch of fake folk on this internet, it's a lot of real N words on here too. And I am the head of the committee of the real niggas here, so
Yo, there's certain people we bring on here that I can't stand before we get done. She's on that list with Black Wrestling because they the same
damn.
people, yo. Y'all the same
Not
people.
Black
But I
wrestling.
mess with y'all. But yeah, y'all the same. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did I lie?
You ain't lie. I felt you all the way, but I'm just saying, you on that
I'm
list.
sorry.
That's a real nigga list if you don't know.
Per.
Big purr. You know what I'm saying? Yo, if you don't know, hey yo, never mind. You got to be in spaces to even understand that right there. But that's some hilarious shit.
Ooh, big
I
per.
cannot
Yo,
with anybody.
that shout out to LVGT AJ. If you know, you know. But let me stop. I got to ask a wrestling question, even though you don't mess with wrestling like that. Lovely. There's like independent wrestlers out here that should be noticed. That should be known. That people should look more into. 2021's over. We in 2022. Can you give me like 2 women, 2 men, and 2 tag teams? Is that too much?
Please. Anyway, we got Jocelyn Navarro. You need to be on her if you ain't already. And
Yes.
Brooke Valentine. And they have met, as a matter of fact, at Good Trouble. What is it?
They have Black Wrestlers Matters XTL.
Oh, they got 2.
Then
they
they
got 2.
go at good trouble and face each other again the next day.
Her. And then, of course, my tag team, the main event. No matter where I go, I wear them on my shoulder at all times. And waves and curls for real. Like
the team
y'all
of waves and curls.
Nah, for
That
real.
name is so wild to me. Like it's still so wild to me.
I love that.
Go back to it came out where you seeing this. The main event came out last Saturday, so go watch that.
I love them. As far as fellas, of course, I'm always gonna put my folks on first, and you can say what you want to say about that. D Road, if you do not know who he is out there on the West Coast, he is a phenomenal wrestler. A lot of people just know him as like the funny guy. He's funny, he's silly, but when he gets going in that ring, he's the world's tallest cruiserweight for a reason. Pay attention to him. And another fella, I'm gonna regret saying this just because he get on my damn nerves. But pay attention to PB Smooth. He is annoying as all hell, but he is quite literally the personification of his name. He's somebody that I want to see do so much more this year, and really get the notoriety that I think he deserves. Not just because that's the homie, but because I personally know the amount of work that man puts into what he does. So I would love to see him reap the benefits of that.
You got 2 women?
I did that already.
Oh, you already named them too. See, I just put them together. But yeah, Jocelyn and y'all know Jocelyn. We just had Jocelyn a couple weeks ago. I know Brooke. We had Brooke on here, but
I love Brooke.
I just been thinking about that, and I'm glad she mentioned that because I was like, yo, they got back-to-back matches.
I love that.
Jocelyn was on here. She told y'all she been trying to get a match with Brooke. So to get 2 matches back-to-back on Saturday and then Sunday, I know it's going to be a great weekend. I'll be in the house for both of those matches. So let's fucking go.
Of course.
Well,
Harry's
ain't that
always everywhere.
interesting? Guess who also be in one of those shows?
Okay, I'm not going to Ohio then. But
Ohio don't want you anyways.
It really be your own people.
I'll be in that thing in Ohio at OWA. I was gonna go to Grapple, but
Shout out to OWA.
I'm gonna do OWA and everything. Man, only because I know how this is gonna turn out and I get to keep my prize. So I always ask this question, Lovely. I lean in a little bit and I say the Rock is Stone Cold.
What about it?
You gotta pick one.
I said I wasn't gonna say that word. I'm gonna go for Austin always.
Yes. All right. As you guys know, our running thing here: until someone picks the Rock, we can't send this out to someone. But once someone does pick the Rock, somebody will win that Rock figurine. But until
I already know. I know who you need to pull on this show if you want them to pull the Rock. I give you a name. I guarantee you they're gonna choose the Rock.
I know who I need to pull too. That's why I've been going away from these people. I ain't shit. You know what I'm saying?
He's not.
Oh man, we gotta talk about something before we leave though, because a lot of people don't talk about them, and you know, I've been riding with them for a while, and you ride with them hard too. You know what I'm saying? The real Bullet Club. You know them Tongans over there. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, okay. She got a little too hype for me right there. Can you just talk about that? You know, because people not giving them respect. And if you watch Time of Island, I watched Time of Island, and one week she was on there, and I said, "Is this fucking Lovely on Time of Island? What the fuck is going on?"
I was on there 3 times.
I was trying to be modest here, but
we ain't doing that. No,
you were on there 3 times.
3.
So can you talk about that? Because you know, when I was watching the show, I was like, "Look at this, mom. You know what? There she is. Do your thing."
Yeah. So I found out about Tama Tonga first. At the time he was Kava. I used to get those wrestling loot crates, and there was a DVD. You know, they used to put the DVDs in them.
Yeah, they did.
And he was on the cover.
Dang, that made me feel old. Why'd you mention that?
Sorry. Welcome to the committee of the old people. He was on the cover of one of those DVDs, and I was like, you know, as a lady, I was like, thank you. So of course I popped in the DVD immediately, and I was like, oh, okay. Then I started researching and figured out who he was related to. My mother used to be a humongous fangirl for Ming. She loved Ming, and I was like, what a coinky dink. So I started watching there and CMLL and just kind of followed the career and just the growth and the evolution that he's made, because he was a wild boy, no pun intended, but that was a wild boy. But then he started to hone his character and his craft. And then when they brought the element of Bullet Club in, you know, he was kind of the silent one. The women was like, who is this? Because we need to see a little bit more of that, you know. And of course, everybody thought it was Samoan. Then you do the research and figure out who he is. I mean, not that Tama Tonga don't say enough, but people stupid. And I just watched the growth. I am a huge stand for people who actually grow and get better. And to see where he started from the short, you know, afro and teaming with what was Damian Sandow's name at the time? I can't remember, because they were tag team champions together.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing that growth, and then seeing him get to Bullet Club, and then seeing how when he got with his brother with God, and just the evolution and his talking, him on the mic, you know, just the permanent bad boy that he was. And then I don't know if you can see it. I'm gonna try to pull my camera up a little bit. Do you see that picture right there? That's me and him. That's when I got a chance to finally meet him in Orlando at a WrestleMania. And I cherish that picture because I've seen that man grow so much and have come into his own in such a way that you really don't see that as much anymore in wrestling. It's very few people that you actually can see the growth, and you see them, you find the moment when they find who they are. And he found it. And even when he cut his beard off and I was ready to fight, and then he cut his hair off and I was ready to fight again, but the boy does what he does, and I'm proud of where he is. And then of course, he got his brothers there. Then he got Hikuleo, who's the tall brother, the big baby brother. That's but I'm just proud. That's a family that I really, really do rock with, just because of how close they are and how hard they work and how much of the business they actually love. Like, they really love wrestling. And I appreciate the fact that he knew me as a fan and appreciated my voice and appreciate what I bring and what I talk about and how I speak, and gave me an opportunity to speak on his platform. As a fan, you don't really get that. And I'm saying fan in quotation marks. As a fan, you don't really get that to where they allow you on their platform. And I appreciate that. And I'm very thankful and grateful for the opportunity, because that's another one up there with Stone Cold when they say don't meet your favorites. Him, Stone Cold, and Bailey are the three that, and Naomi, sorry, got to put her on there. Those four have been amazing. And I appreciate any and every opportunity I've had with them. So, you talk about my tongue is, I get a little hot and bothered when you talk about my tongue and boys now. Right up the hill.
I cannot.
Stop doing this. Stop acting like you don't love me, okay? Stop it. Cut it out.
He's just doing it just to do it.
This is me all the time, though.
I know. And that's
a mess.
Like, it's not even, you know what I'm saying?
You always laughing at me.
Because every time you say something, I'll be like,
not Cody Luther King. Come on now.
I always get the Cody. I'll be like, man, I can't do this with her today. Oh my God. Yo, matter of fact, we got to get up out of here because I done gave her too much time. Lovely.
Wow.
Nah, not even like that, because I know after that question it's gonna get outrageous. But I need you to do something for us that we have everybody do when they come on. This is your time to shine. What we call this, you gotta put yourself over moment. This is where you let the people know, again, your social medias, the ways they can support you, things they can buy, tell them to get them bracelets up, tell them to get a t-shirt. We just want you to put you and yourself up.
Well, if I can do nothing else, I can definitely do that. Of course, again, this is Lovely Laveau or Lola Blue, whichever you prefer. I really don't care. If you want to find me, you can definitely follow me on Twitter at LOLA_BLUU. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can go to Just Me Lovely, one word. I do, of course, make handmade jewelry, necklaces, bracelets, rings. I don't have any on, waist beads. And lock jewelry as well. I don't know if you can see it in my hair. So you can always reach out to me for that. My website will be coming up around Mania time, so look forward around March, April. As well as if you want to get my t-shirts, the F These People, Wrestle Melanin, the Wrestle Uncle, and the Wrestle Auntie shirts, they are on What a Maneuver. The store is Lovely Laveau. As well as please support Shane Taylor Promotions. Go to their merch shop, get all the merchandise of What a Maneuver as well. Keep an eye out for everything that those brothers do. Shane posted 2 videos with CT Fletcher, which are incredible. If you don't support me, at least support them, because they are front running the whole representation wrestling that we want to see. So that's what I can ask for from all of you. If you don't support me, support them. If you need a safe space to speak, if you need someone to talk to, I'm available. I am limited, but I am available, trying to help out as much as I can. If you know local wrestlers or independent wrestlers who may need just a little bit of help with character development, or a brainstorming partner, accountability partner, a liaison, and get them in front of some people, you can reach out to me on Twitter. I am available. I'm always here for the people, especially Black folks. So that's that.
Ooh. We do joke around, but she is good at what she does and everything. It's just certain people that you talk to and you be like, man, I can't deal with this person because it's ridiculous. But she good people, you know what I'm saying? But she's like Nicole, and y'all know how I feel about Nicole, so they good in my book, but they just ridiculous people.
What does that mean?
All right.
Y'all just ridiculous people. Y'all good in my book.
I'm not. I'm honest.
I will say I'm very honest and very blunt, but I am also fair.
When I say that, I mean that's a
I'm never fair, so
real nigga
you
shit.
beat me there.
There it is. It's not too many. I told y'all, what we was trying to do. We're trying to take this to make it into this because, just linked up with some good people. So that's what we doing. That's what we out here vibing through and getting with. Nicole, before we get out of here with it's Friday, Lovely. Should we tell them what Friday means?
No.
All right. Nicole, before we get out, you got anything else for Lovely? Lovely.
No, just appreciate what you're doing. I probably have to contact you separately because Terry's holding my bracelet hostage.
Sorry. Ooh.
Hey, hold on. You ain't gonna do this.
You said you ain't gonna do this in front of all these people.
A mess.
That's terrible.
He's so dramatic. He's such a Scorpio.
Oh my God, that makes so much sense. I forgot that. I forgot he was a Scorpio.
We're both Scorpios.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I hate it here. Get me out. Is this the show over? Show over. Thank you.
I'm not holding hostage, Nicole. The holidays are over, so I can put it in the mail to you. You did, but I'm not holding anything hostage for you. Hasn't been on my wrist or anything.
He's been still in the package. Good job.
You know what I'm saying?
Proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm a real. You know what? Never mind. But you gonna be at the Good Trouble show?
Yeah, I was actually planning to go to the DC show, but when I saw main event on the ticket, I was like, see, all the homies are at the OWA show, and then all the other homies are at the DC show, and I'm sitting here like,
you said you saw the main event for which one?
No, the main event is on the Ohio show. So I was like, and they're my favorite tag team on the independent circuit, and I still haven't been able to see them live. I was like, yeah, I got to do that this year.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and they the homies, and I still haven't been able to see them wrestle live. So I got to get that.
And they gonna rep. Well, never mind.
Yeah, we can't say that shit.
OWA shows. I mean, I haven't been to a show in a minute, and probably a little bit more than a minute. But I always love their shows. Like, it's just not only that, it's just I'm blanking on his name, but the head promoter there, he's just like cool people, and it's just like everybody that's usually the people that I would always like encounter there, like it's always like good vibes. So that's why I always like make sure, like, if I'm gonna go to a show and even if they only have like a couple of people I kind of like or a couple people I know, I just always make sure I try to go.
Show. Yeah. So this is what made the decision for me though. So I saw the main event they posted their graphic, and then the promoter hit me up and was like, "Don't tell nobody, but this is who they wrestling." I was like, "I'm in there. Don't even worry about it, son. I'll be there."
Let's get out of here.
Oh Jesus! Bling.
Well, you gotta go on the streets, Terry. What's going on? Well, yeah, this is
no, I ain't gotta go on the streets. I was tweeting something earlier today. Basically, it's very funny and hilarious when you tweet stuff and people who are, let's say, at the place that you're tweeting about send you text messages, and then you guys are having whole conversations because they agree with the points that you're making in the tweet.
Ain't that cool?
But you understand that they get the text, so they're not gonna say anything on Twitter or anything. So this is me right here just laughing at the person who's tweeting me. Well, let's get out of here though. But look, Lovely, thank you for coming on. Nicole, thank you for joining us. Black Fridays. I would tell y'all who's next up on Black Fridays, but I don't know who I'm gonna put out first. But it might have something to do with Black Wrestlers Matters. But like I always say, if I love it and you love wrestling, then we love wrestling. It's too sweet. For the culture.
How many women got
wrestling and you love wrestling, then we. Not here, you missing out. Is this show?